So, good morning, everyone. As a part of our NetSet guidance lecture session, today we are gathered here. So, today's session will be conducted by Ms. Sima Rathod, ma'am. So, Sima Rathod, ma'am, is an assistant professor of English at Nankuvarba Mahila Arts College, affiliated with Maharaja Krishna Kumar Singhji Bhavnagar University. Her areas of academic interest including contemporary literary studies, translation studies, and the integration of digital technologies and in pedagogy. She has presented research paper at several national and international conference and has contributed scholarly work to reputed journals. Her recent research, Youth and Social Media, a double-edged sword in the digital age, reflected her commitment to exploring the intersection of literature, culture, and technology. She is dedicated to advancing innovative teaching methodology while fostering critical and analytical thinking among her students. So, ma'am, now stage is yours, please.
So, thank you. So, I'm not the new one here. Only 2 years ago, I was just sitting here and now I'm here. So, it's okay. This is my home. But thank you so much. First of all, let's not take that much time and let me jump into my presentation. So, as you guys know that today I'm going to talk about modern in fiction in modern era, modern age. Why it is important, how it is important, why it is there in NET and GSET syllabus. Let me tell you, because this is the first and the most, right, interesting at the same time, the most complex term ever. So just let me know when you guys are able to see my presentation. Is it visible to you guys? Okay, thank you. So fiction in the modern age, the era starts from 1910 to 1945. There were some literary trends in modern age. Let's directly jump into that because we are running 7 minutes late. And I really have to go back to my college also, but it's okay. Technical issues. So why? Why this literature emerged out of nowhere? Modern literature. What was the need of this literature? Why? Right. So first clue which I'm going to tell you is, first, whenever you prepare for NET and GSET, ask this question. 3 questions: what, how, and why. What is it, how it is important, and why it is important. Then you will be able to succeed in that. And whenever you opt for any kind of competitive exams, first go there to understand all the things, all the scenarios. Don't go like, okay, I really want to do that in first attempt. There are chances that you might do it in first attempt, but always go there with a neutral mind, that okay, I'm going there to learn something, not to pass or not to fail, right? We don't talk about failing, we always talk about passing. But at the same time, the greatest irony is that we don't work for that, we only talk for that. So why it happened, why they needed a modern term? Because people and poets also, writers also, needed a break from traditional forms. We knew that, okay, if you read a story or if you read a poem or epic poem or whatever genre is there, they had a complete madku, which we call in Gujarati, right? A proper structure of that. Like, okay, rising action, falling action, and then climax, and then done. Poetic justice. But these people were not happy with that. Why? There was a backstory. Because they have seen wars, world wars, 2 world wars. We know that people always tell us that, okay, war is good, war brings peace. No, never. What war brings? War brings unrest, every kind of unrest, social unrest, mental unrest, right? It brings bloodshed. So these people, they wanted something new. We know that, okay, only one narrator is there, but in modern poetry, in modern epic, in modern novels, what they did, they gave a what kind of what we can say story or poem, in that there was no poetic justice. They provided story in bits and pieces, like, okay, these are the dots and you have to connect the dots. Uncivilized, you guys can call it, because the civilization was unclear. People were living in uncertainties. Right now we are seeing so many people, so many countries doing that. Gaza and all these things are going on. Even our neighbor country is doing that, Nepal. You guys are seeing that, what kind of social unrest. So how can you want something which is peaceful, right? So the first thing was that break from traditional forms. They be like, we are not here, we are fed up with goody things. That, okay, poetic justice, Chaco and Chucky, right? They be like, we are fed up of Chaco and Chucky. We want Chaco who is having a weapon, we want Chucky who is having a weapon. We want to tell people that what is going on here. We want to tell people that, okay, what are the things which are going in our mind, right? They told us that, okay, what is really good, but look at us, ask us what we are going through. Then the second thing was exploration of psychology and consciousness. Suddenly there was a flood of psychological stream of consciousness and all these things. Why? Because that the writers, modern writers, wanted to explore or wanted to showcase what is going on in that particular character's mind. And it was not only situated to, it was not limited to only one character. If 3 or 4 characters were there, they used to go and they used to showcase the inner feelings of each and every characters. How fascinating is that? How rebellious is that? So second thing was that. Then disillusionment post World War. That, okay, there were people who told them that, okay, first we will do the war, and second thing we will get was azadi. We will get freedom, we will get happiness, right? But instead of that, what happened? They came across bloodshed, they came across sadness, and they came across traumas and chaos. So they wanted that, see, we have to come out from that disillusionment. They be like, we want to talk about our traumas. We want to talk about our inner feelings. We want to talk about the social unrest. People started questioning, right? Especially writers. They started questioning serious questions. They started asking serious questions. What is life? Why life is important? Why we have to live? And if we are living, what kind of living we are living? In what ways we have to live? See, this kind of serious question they started. Go back into Victorian era. In Victorian era, what was there? Like goody things, lovey-dovey things, right? All the rosy picture. But these people wanted to showcase the real picture. That, okay, see, you guys told us during World War, right? Netas used to give that bhashans that, okay, we will bring peace to this country, just be with us, right? They be like, we were disillusioned by war. Now we are getting the results, and results are quite traumatic. And we want to talk about that. We really don't want to talk that goody things. No, we want to show the real things. We want to tell the reality. Then rise of stream of consciousness techniques. And for that, we should always remember Sigmund Freud. I hope you guys are aware about Sigmund Freud. Right? He is very famous for the interpretation of dreams. He has written a book, right? Only read that book if you have guts, right? Because each and every dream, according to Sigmund Freud, each and every dream has a meaning, right? So if you have guts, then and then go to that, and you must go to that, right? Being youngsters, you have to go that. So rise of stream of consciousness technique. What is stream of consciousness? Writers started taking the readers, the spectators, directly into the minds of the characters. The untidy things which they were thinking, right? The dirtiest things, the horrible things which they were thinking, they used to take us there. That, okay, see, this character is thinking about that. This character is thinking about killing Hitler. This character is thinking about destroying whole world, right? Which is quite new. Because during all these eras, right, before modern age, people used to talk, and people used to think about goody things. Yes, I will clear net, I will clear GSET, right? Then I will become a government professor, then I will buy a car, then I will buy a bungalow, then I will go to this place or that place, all these things. No. But these people, modern age people, they used to talk about how to reach there. They used to talk about the hardships, right? You guys are studying. I have asked you, right? While these people were setting up everything, that okay, how many you are going to prepare for that? So you guys know the misery, you guys know the chaos which you guys are going through, right? So these people started talking about that, which is good. Imagination is good, but extra imagination is quite bad for ourselves, right? For each and every society, extreme. Then another important thing is experimentation with language and narrative structures. These modern people, they have changed the structure. They used to tell their stories in bits and pieces. They used to collage, right? They used to provide a collage. There were no poetic justice, right? And open-ended things, open-ended novels were there. They used to kill even hero and heroines also, right? Which is quite reality here. Because world, I still remember when we used to study here, sir always used to call us that soon you will be in market, right? So life is a market. So these people used to think about and write about all those things. They wanted their spectators to go through all these chaotic things also. But that doesn't mean they didn't used to talk about good things, huh? They also used to talk about good things. But if you notice in life also, everyday life also, people always, talk about goody things, goody things. But that doesn't mean that you are not supposed to talk about bad things also. We have to balance both the things. Then and then you will become a good human being. Then and then you will be able to survive in life, especially market, right? Okay, these things are clear in your mind. Okay, thank you. Okay, there were quite 3 rebellious movements, right? First was imagism. What images used to do? They were quite precious. Clarity of mind was there, and they used to use free verse. They used to imagine, let's say that if in simple sentence, I am sad. So what these people used to do? He or she fell in the immense sadness, in the pit of sadness, like this. Same thing is there. But how they use the images? They used to use far-fetched images, right? Which is quite interesting, right? You guys can use images. Let's say emojis you guys are using nowadays, right? That okay, if you are said, you just send that emoji. So that is imagism only. It started in 1910 and 1920s. Then Dadaism, the most rebellious term. Dadaist people, they used to create poetry from any nonsensical thing. And when people ask, right, but the most important or interesting part about that poetry was that poetry had a deep meaning. They used to cut out some things, right? You will be studying Dadaism only, right? Those who are studying semester 3, you guys will be studying. Those in 1, you will be studying in semester 3, right? So just nonsensical. So somebody asked that, okay, why you guys are doing that? So they be like, okay, if this kind of nonsense is going on, so this kind of poetry is important for this kind of nonsensical thing also. Just imagine, the best part about modern age is you guys can create something from nothing, right? So Dadaism, then Surrealism, beyond reality. Surrealists used to, Salvador Dali, must go through Salvador Dali's pictures. Please go, hard-hitting images he has created. Salvador Dali. If you see him, no, your first impression will be like, is he mad or what? Right? But it is quite interesting. Super realism. Right? They used to create their own reality. What is real? The best part about modern literature is it will tell you that, okay, if this thing is this thing is reality for you, that is also okay. Right? They didn't believe in universal idea of truth. Right? Because truth are different for different people, which is a universal truth. Right? What is universal, right? Truth is same everywhere. No, it is not. Right? In some countries, rapes and killing is, legitimate. Right? Just imagine. if each and every country behaves like this, right? So that's how these people used to do that. In surrealism, dream and subconscious and irrational imaginary were there, but that doesn't mean that these people were nonsense, right? These people used to find sense from nonsense things also. 3 modern movements are clear in your mind? You sure? Okay, thank you. Just give me a moment. Now let's jump back into characteristics of modern literature. First is stream of consciousness. Second is fragmentation. Third is subjectivity. Fourth, alienation and loss. And fifth is focus on inner self. And last one is critique of society and politics. What is stream of consciousness? What if I tell you that, okay, right now I'm taking lecture, but what if someone is writing my story and someone lets you into my mind? You will come across the wildest fantasies of mine. You will come across the inner, untidy, the cruel also, the chaotic things which are going in my mind. So what these people did, modernist people, they took their readers, they took their spectators into the minds of that people. That, okay, what is going on in the mind of the particular character, female character, male character. And it was not limited to major characters. It was applicable into each and every character's mind. Just imagine how magical it will become. That, okay, you will be able to go into each and every person's mind, each and every person's thoughts, fears, imaginations, far-fetched images, and all these things. Stream of consciousness emerged, and people started liking it. People were fed up of the government's disillusions. They wanted something new. They wanted truth, right? They wanted their own truth. They be like, okay, the thing which you are telling us is not truth. The thing which are truth for us, we want to express that truth. And these novels and these novelists, these thinkers help them to achieve that. Then fragmentation in modern literature reflects the disjoint, uncertain nature of modern life. It breaks traditional narrative structures through shifts in time, perspective, and form. Right? What is the proper structure of a novel? Like beginning, middle, end. That's it. And in the end, people used to get poetic justice. Right? Everything becomes soothing. Everything, each and every person is happy. Everyone gets justice. But in modern literature, it was not. In modern literature, they used to provide plots in bits and pieces. They used to provide a montage. They used to provide a collage. Right? We know that in collage, if we create a collage, right, of our photos, each and every image is not perfect. Right? But still we accept that. So through that, they told that, okay, see, middle, beginning, middle, and climax and happy ending. That is not the point of literature. That is not the point of life. Right? Life and literature has different meanings also. Some people get poetic justice, some people don't. And still they have to be happy with it. Still they have to go with it. In everyday life also, we have to go with it, no? If something goes wrong, still we are not committing suicide. I always make joke in my class, right? She is here, she is my student. So I always used to tell them that, have you ever heard that a student of arts committed a suicide? Have you heard? Right, because we go through all such kind of things. Right? We know that that is okay. Right? Some another day we will do that. Then what they used to do, they used to tell people that, okay, you have to decide your end. Open-ended. They have provided open-ended literature. They have created open-ended novels and plays. Right? Okay, they started fighting, and that's the end of the play. Now we have to decide what might have happened. That way, they used to make their readers think deeply. That, okay, now you take the command, now you think like me, use surrealism, use imagism, right? And go beyond that and create something, which is a good thing. We don't like the things which we put, which puts us in shackles. જે આપણને શેકલમાં નાખે એ ન ગમે. What we like? Freedom. So the best part about this poetry was freedom of thought, right? Even if during that era people used to criticize this kind of, novels and poems and all the literature, they'd be like, it's okay, that is your truth. We know our truth, we created something based on our truth, and it's okay if you don't like it, right? That was the best part about this poetry, modernist poetry. Then another is subjectivity. Subjects were changed. There was not a only single subject. So many subjects were there. One subject, right? What is this? If I only, right? Let's say she is my student and I only focus on her, right? It will be a poetic justice. Not at all. So in Victorian era, what used to happen? Only one or two characters. One is protagonist, one is antagonist, and heroine as usual, right? So these people be like, no, why we have to focus on only one person or only one imagination, right? We can multiply those things, right? So that's how what happened. We got more ideas, we got more poetic justice. The more minds we have, the more ideas we get. As simple as that. Then alienation and loss in modern literature depicts the individual's disconnection from society, tradition, and identity. They were done with this society. They started questioning their lives also. Why I am here? Why I am a poet? Why I have choose to be a Dadaist? Right? What is life? What is society? What is sense? They become isolated. They started questioning their roots. What is my root? If I'm a human being, what are my duties? What I have to do being a human? And what is it like to be a human? What is the definition of a good human? Right? Good human. They started asking questions, and because of that questions, a new genre has arrived. Right? They started feeling alienated that no, we don't belong to this world where people are killing each other. People are killing innocent people. Right? Look at the World War. Go through the photos of World War. Right? Gas chambers and everything, beheading and all these things, right? And they were doing this with innocent people, which is not good. So they be like, no. If a human being a human is like this, I don't want to become this kind of human. So what is a human? They started questioning themselves, their existence. Very few can do that, right? Very few. બહુ ઓછા લોકો કહી શકે કે હું માણસ છું, કેવો માણસ છું, સારો, ખરાબ, સારો, right? Average, middle, excessive, right? These things started. And that's how, after reading this kind of literature, people started questioning authorities. People started questioning the society. People started questioning the parameters of being a human being, parameters of a good society, parameters of what it is to be living in a peaceful country. Right? Okay, let's jump into another one. Focus on inner self emphasizes. Right? They used to create a literature where each and every character had something to say. And so subconscious mind, unconscious mind, right? We can know by the actions of people that what is going on, right? But if someone is sitting and we are just watching he or she, we cannot decide what he or she might be thinking. So these people did that. They went into their minds. They be like, okay, what will happen if people start behaving like this? Look at the trauma which they are facing. Look at the things which they had gone through, and no one was there to talk about that. Koi notu. Nobody was there. And it reflects the modernist shift towards exploring human consciousness and individual identity. They have created such characters where they started questioning themselves also. They started questioning society also. They started questioning authorities also. Right? Such a brave thing to do, being an artist. Then criticism of society and politics in modern literature exposes corruption, hypocrisy, and inequality. They openly started questioning each and every aspect, each and every corrupt person, or each and every corrupt thing which was going on in that society. What will happen? Have you guys studied 1984 and Animal Farm? right? Same thing. It is modern poetry, right? It is modern literature. 1984. They were not giving any names, but they started questioning them, right? Snowball, Big Brother is watching you. So who is that Big Brother, right? Thought police, love police, and all these things. You were not even able to. So that's how they have creating a society which used to give information to people that, see, you guys are fooled by all these norms of the authorities. You have to question them, and you are not supposed to blindly follow them. You have to use your mind, because all these things are in our minds, right? Surrealistic were all people. They were not aliens. Images were all people. Dadaists were all people. It is all about matter of using our mind, where we are using, how we are using. And they challenge the oppressive system and question dominant ideologies. That, okay, if you are a leader, so is it the correct way of treating your people? They started asking questions. That's why they have faced really bad circumstances also. But at the same time, they had that relief that, okay, we did something for our society. So all these characteristics are clear in your mind? You sure? Okay, let's see what kind of novels were there in modern age. Psychological novels were there, which focus on the psychological aspects of the characters, not their gestures, not their actions. They used to take the readers into the minds of their characters, each and every character. Political and social novels, which used to talk about the bad things which politicians and political parties used to do. Then experimental forms, open-ended, montage, right? Such kind of novels, such kind of poetry emerge. Then stream of consciousness, right? When we talk about stream of consciousness, we have to talk about Virginia Woolf, To the Lighthouse, right? Then allegorical and dystopian novels. The best examples are 1984, right? And Lord of the Flies, another one by George Orwell. Animal Farm, how can we forget that? A new genre emerged, right? The basic idea behind that age was not to entertain only. The basic idea, the propaganda, right, which we can call, we are using propaganda in a positive manner here, right? So they wanted to tell people that this is how you have to ask questions, this is how you have to think, because we are disillusioned, we are fooled by our government, right? Suddenly that urbanization emerged, but nobody talked about colonialism. What is urbanization? Byproduct of colonialism. Industrialization, class conflict emerged. Nobody talks about that. Everyone was interested in talking about bourgeoisies. No one was interested in poor people. Crime happened. All these things happen, right? So are you clear with these ideas? You sure? Okay. Now let's jump back into major novelists of the modern age. The first one is Joseph Conrad. So always remember, whenever you guys are preparing for particular people, once again you have to go through three things. First is the timeline of that person, right? Then second thing is writing style of that particular person, right? Poet or whatever it is. And themes, what kind of themes are there, because each and every person has some kind of characteristics, right? Bharat sir has different characteristics, Megha ma'am has different characteristics, you guys have different characteristics, right? Even though you guys are sitting together studying together, but each and every person, each and everything has different characteristics. So you have to go through these things, you have to just mind these three things only. And I must suggest that you have the most dangerous element with you, which is AI, right? Use it. You guys will not believe. Translation, I'm teaching translation, and translation is quite hard for students. So I am using ChatGPT for that. ChatGPT, Notebook LM, Canva. I'm preparing chits and I'm preparing posters from that. So what you guys can do is first go through the wall thing. Go through the wall thing, then create a poster and stick that poster somewhere in your room. That way you will not get bored, first thing first, right? Second thing, you will not feel any kind of burden or any kind of anxiety that, oh my God, 15 or 16 people I have to remember their works, especially their major and minor works, right? So this how you have to use technology, right? Just create different kind of posters and stick it somewhere. That's how you will be able to remember it. So the key works of Joseph Conrad is Heart of Darkness. It talks about colonialism, imperialism, and moral corruption. That how they treated us, how they destroyed us. Then the style was symbolism, psychological depth, and impressionating narration. Influence, he got influenced by T.S. Elias the Vastland and William Faulkner. Right? This way, that's why I have created this, just to showcase it to you. That okay, this how also you guys can prepare important things also. Right? It is not like, always remember guys, don't watch the videos which are going around the social media that okay, I used to study for 12 hours, I have purchased books, 11 cost, it costed me 11,000 or 12,000 or 5,000. No, right? You have to remember that we all are different here, we all have different characteristics. Always follow your heart, and if you want to follow your heart, you have to practice self love first. You have to tell yourself that okay, I can do that, and then you have to use technology for that, right? So that's how you have to prepare, and always go everywhere, right, for all these kind of competitive exams with a neutral mind. Just okay, I'm going there, yes, I'm having exam. If someone asks you that okay, you are not worried that you are having exam, no, I'm not worried. Are you excited for the exam? No, I'm not excited for the exam, right? Be neutral, always be neutral, and believe me, you feel relieved, and you will be able to succeed also, right? Don't panic about anything, right? Always have self confidence, self love, and use your devices wisely use karo badi vastu ne. It will help you. Then we have H.G. Wells. The time span of H.G. Wells is 1866 to 1946. He is the pioneer of science fiction, and he is famous for The Time Machine, The War of the Worlds. He also brought social and political novels reflecting modern anxieties, and the major themes of his most of the works are technology, utopia versus dystopia, and class struggle. These things you have to prepare, nothing else. And for major and minor works also, you guys can create a poster, right? For major and minor works, if you want to prepare like this, let's say okay, you are preparing for H.G. Wells. Okay, here's a time span, right? Go for birth and these things, right? What he had done, how many major works, how many minor works. If you go through major works, right, you have to remember the characters, the storyline, themes, symbols, right, and imaginism. That's it. That's done. There is no rocket science. People are talking about, oh, you have to prepare like this and that. No, create your own styles, right? Don't follow anyone blindly. कोई blindly follow नहीं करवाना. We have to cultivate our own styles. Then Arnold Bennett, he is known for realistic novels of ordinary life. His famous works are Clayhanger trilogy, The All Wives' Tale, and he advocated detailed realism in contrast to experimental modernism. He had different ideas, right? He had created his own ideologies, and he was famous for that. He be like, realism is okay, you have to use realism, but you have to do some experiments with that also. That's the beauty about modern people. They don't just criticize, they give you clues to do something new also. Then we have Dorothy Richardson. The time span of Dorothy Richardson is 1873 to 1957. She is the pioneer of the stream of consciousness. Technique Pilgrimage series, 13 volumes, explores female conscious influence on Virginia Woolf and James Joyce also. Right? She is talking about women in modern era, which is good thing, right? Because each and every person was busy talking about society. Each and every person was busy talking about politicians and politics and what we call the extract which was there. What were the things which affected anarchy and all these things, right? But She was the only one, Dorothy Richardson, who came across that, okay, I must write about the imagination, the subconsciousness, about the subconsciousness of women also, right? And the colors were really bright. And from Dorothy, people like Virginia Woolf and James Joyce, right? They got inspired by that, and we know the results, right? Then we have G.K. Chesterton. He wrote fiction, essays, detective stories. His most famous works are Father Brown series, known for paradox, satire, and Christian humanism, critique of modernist pessimism. Right. The another characteristics of this literature was pessimist. People were pessimist. They were not optimist. Right. And that is the reality of life. I have told you earlier also that I believe in reality of life. They didn't believe in goody things, because there are so many people since ages, right? Victorian, romantic, in all these ages, people used to talk about goody things, rosy picture. But these people will like, no, you are not supposed to be optimistic. You are supposed to be pessimistic also. But that doesn't mean it is a negative thing. By this pessimists, they believed that sometimes we have to accept the reality, and from that reality we have to create our brave new world. That's why they were talking about that. It was not to showcase, or if it was not to downtrodden someone or to sadden other people. It was to tell them that, okay, situations were not right, it's okay. If you know that something is going to be horribly wrong, don't be optimistic about it. Be pessimist, leave it there, create something new. Right. So that was the best part about J.K. Chesterton and all the modern poets. W. Somerset Maugham. Just a moment. He blended realism with psychological insight. His key novels are Of Human Bondage, The Razor's Edge. He explored human weakness, colonial encounters, and morality. He talked about, right? So many people talked about colonialism, but nobody is talking about what was the reason behind colonialism. Who let them in? Right? We also have to think that who let them in. So Somerset talked about it. He'd be like, okay, let's talk about colonialism, but first let's talk about us. Who let them in? Who let them establish their colony in here? We have to think about that. See, another best part about this modern literature. They used to ask themselves also that first we have, according to Somerset, okay, yes, colonialism is bad. They are doing really bad. They are destroying our culture. They are destroying our rules. They are destroying ourselves, our identities also. But first, just stay there and ask ourselves questions that how it happened, why it happened, who let it happen. Right. And it is always difficult to question ourselves. It is very easy to question other people. So that's how he has given a different perspective towards colonialism and imperialism. Then we have E.M. Forster. He is very much famous for A Passage to India, which was published in 1924. He talks about race, colonialism, East-West encounters, and he explored human relationships, liberal humanism, personal versus social conflict, and his famous dictum is only connect. Once again, like Somerset, he also talked about colonialism, imperialism, but here he talked he has also included the perspective, human perspective also, human relationship also, that how it happened. He took us to dive deep into colonialism, imperialism, and all those very bad things which were going there. Then we have James Joyce, obviously. He is very much famous for Ulysses. It is a landmark of stream of consciousness, interior monologue, a portrait of the artist as a young man. Finnegan's Wake, themes, alienation, sexuality, Irish identity, modern myth, and making. Modern myth. He came up with a new thing which is called modern myth. Right? What is modern myth? Anyone knows about the definition or anything about modern myth? No, it's okay. Right? So he bravely talks about human relations. He talked about the bad things which were going on in the society, about urbanization, about industrialization, about caste, about class, everything, right? But he also included sexuality also. He also included complex relationships also, right? So this was the best thing. See, whenever you talk about modernist literature, in each and every person, you will find each and every new thing, each and every person, right? And it was, they used to, no doubt, they used to criticize each other, but they also used to give hints to each other that, okay, you have created this, you have created Ulysses, you might, right, or you must go with that theory also. You are talking about colonialism, okay, if you are talking about colonialism, you have to talk about imperialism also. You have to talk about the reasons also, not about the cause, right? We always focused on causes, but we are never reason. What was the reason? Why it happened? How it happened? Then we have Virginia Woolf. I hope everyone is aware about Virginia Woolf. Don't give me a heart attack, huh, guys? She is very much famous for stream of consciousness. And stream of consciousness, what is it? Stream of consciousness gives us raw emotions, untidy raw emotions. If some character thinks that, okay, I really want to kill that person, or I really hate that person, I really hate my life, right? They used to showcase sometimes directly a conversation between audience, sometimes as a form of monologue, right? That is a brave thing to do, right? Which she did into the lighthouse. You guys have studied Delaware lighthouse? Orlando, very good. If you get time, go for this also, right? Delaware and to the lighthouse, which are, and it might be asked in exam also. Then we have D.H. Lawrence. His novels are Sons and Lovers, Women in Love, Lady Chatterley's Lover, Chatterley's Lover, themes, sexuality, instincts versus intellect, industrial society versus nature, and he was a rebel against Victorian moral codes, right? He go directly against Victorian moral codes. He talked about sexuality, he talked about colonialism, he talked about society, he talked about bourgeoisie, right? Which is a brave thing. I have told you earlier that each and every person has something new to tell you. And then we have Aldous Huxley. He is very much famous for Brave New World. He is having a dystopian vision of science control, laws of individuality, satirical and philosophical. He is a satirical and philosophical person. He is very much, if you want to remember one thing about Aldous Huxley, you have to write it down that he was a magician of satire and philosophy both, which is quite difficult thing, right? You can be a satirist or you can be a philosopher, but he tangled both, or he mixed both and created something new, which is seen in Brave New World. Once again, if you get time, please go through Brave New World, which is very beneficial for your exam as well as for your life also. Elizabeth Bowen, The Heart of the Day, World War II, Dislocation, known for psychological tension and wartime fiction. She blended modernist style with traditional storytelling. What used to happen, traditional Victorian and all these people, they had a purpose to tell a story, a goody, a rosy story. These modernist people, they are there to tell a story, but the story is about chaos. The story is about personal torments. The story is about bad things, you guys can say, right? So she blended both. She used the storytelling thing, right? She used that technique to tell the realities of the world. That's why she is famous. Then we have George Orwell. Obviously, whenever we talk about modernist literature, we have to talk about George Orwell, and especially which two works, 1984 and Animal Farm. In that, he talked about, and he critiqued, right? Rather than talking, he criticized the government. He criticized the class conflict. He criticized the class caste also, right? All these things, Snowball and all these people. Then we have Graham Greene, The Power and the Glory, Brighton Rock. He explored Catholic themes, politics, episonage, human corruption, blended thriller with moral and existential questions. Right? He once again asked questions about morals. Right? And he questioned Catholicism also. He questioned religion also. That okay, if you in Bible it is said that okay, if women do such kind of things, they should be punished by God and all these things. But man will be spared, right? Men will be spared. But it is not like this. So he questioned all these things. That okay, what if you call yourself God, so how can you discriminate your own children? He directly questioned that. We know that nowadays it is very difficult to question religion. You can't, right? You can't question authority. Otherwise, you will be marpit, right? Then we have Catherine Mansfield. She is the pioneer of modern short story, and her famous works are The Garden Party, Bliss, known for psychological subtlety, epiphany, and impressionistic details. Right? She believed in minute details, which is a good thing. Right? But sometimes we feel like okay, minute details might lead us to something very drained, right? We feel like okay, we are now drained. We don't want such kind of things. But during that time, it was a new thing. That's why she became famous. Can we have? Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. And I have to go now. So let's just complete remaining things and feel free to ask me questions, right? Some people are here, right? She is my student. She is my student. And from Megha ma'am and both the ma'ams, you will get my number. But rather than WhatsApping me or calling me, let's just discuss everything in mail, right? So it might be very beneficial for you guys also. So whenever you need any kind of assistance, right, please feel free to contact me. I'm always available. And once again, thank you so much. And coming to the department is always a kind of fascination for me. And I had gone through so many difficulties in my personal lives, right? I was depressed, and for 4 years I was not doing anything. I lost a very strong pillar of my life. Then a masiha, right? So please don't hate me, right? I know that you don't like these things, but I have to tell you these things. So he came and he paved my path, and that's why I'm here. Because I still remember in 2019, right? 2019 I was here, right? And 2022 I just passed out, and in 2024 I was also here, and in 2025 I'm also here, and I'll be here all again, right? Bulate rehna. I'll be a good girl. So thank you so much everyone for listening me, and best wishes, and do everything with sheer confidence. Always believe in yourself, always love yourself, and always create your own style, right? All own unique style. And you have the most dangerous weapon in your hand. Use it wisely, and stay happy. Thank you. How much time we have? We are running late. We can't. Tell them to contact me.
First of all, thank you so much, ma'am. Now we have a feedback from our learners. So first, I would like to invite Sanket Wabadia for feedback.
Being honest, I don't have that ego.
First of all, thank you, ma'am, for your insightful session on modern fiction. And you began with explaining its why it is important. Then you introduced some various modernist movements such as Dadaism, Surrealism, Imaginism, along with significant novels, authors of the modern era. And you also connected with discussion with the current examples, as well as you explain everything in a simple way. And it made very simple, which made very simple for easy to understand for us, and we are truly grateful for your valuable time and your session. Such a wonderful and very insightful for us, and it's become very helpful for our preparation. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sanket. Now I would like to invite Nishtha Desai for her feedback.
Good afternoon, everyone, respected ma'am, dear learners. And first of all, thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable time. And you begin with 3 points: what, how, and why. So, if we start our preparation for this exam, so please note that we have to face that 3 points in our mind. Thank you for that 3 points. And always in between your lectures you connect with examples of current examples, also novels examples. So from that we can connect third points in our mind easily. And also you taught us so self and be neutral in always in any situation. So thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nishtha. Now I would like to invite Jai Vaghani to give a vote of thanks.
So on the behalf of department, I sincerely thank to Sima ma'am, and thank you for giving your valuable time. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Jai. Now I would like to invite Jai Vaghani to give a token of thanks and gratitude to ma'am. So I would like to invite also Sima ma'am also. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for providing us guidance and your valuable time. So thank you so much. And now we are concluding this session here. Thank you.